Hello, my name's Anthony Zell. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia. 18 months ago, I was told by a physician that I had a tumor on my spine and that I was going to have to be operated on. I wake up in the ICU, and the first thing I see is all my family around the bed, and I know then, something's wrong. Finally, the physician come in, and he told me it was more complicated than what he had previously thought, and that I would probably have to be in a wheelchair the rest of my life.
Within each of us lies an extraordinary power, a personal strength that we may never know about until life takes an unexpected turn. Nowhere is this power more apparent than at the rehabilitation centers of Sheltering Arms.
Like most stroke victims and their caregivers, we really didn't know where to turn. My biggest concern is that I did not want her to be in a nursing home. I had these fears that she'd be in a wheelchair or something sitting at the end of a hall and someone would come by once in a while and shake her.
I had no movement whatsoever on my left side. After the hospital, I came to Sheltering Arms because it was a place I trusted.
I know I'm not going to be 100%, but I'd like to be able to walk without this, without my cane, and I'd like to be able to play golf again with my wife.
So she started that program, and it's just become the most wonderful thing that's ever happened in our lives.
Mr. Zell is a patient who came to us from another hospital, very impaired after having some spinal surgery, and really was unable to even get out of his bed or sit up by himself when he got to us.
She didn't come right out and say, okay, this is the way it's going to be. She looked at me and said, Tony, what do you want from this?
The most important thing that I get from them is where they need to be to go home. And if they can't verbalize it when they come in, you'll ask their family member, because that's the ultimate goal for everybody.
It's custom designed for every patient. So there may be a speech pathologist in this team, there may be social work and chaplain on this team.
In the outpatient settings, we tend to see patients every 45 minutes. It gives the patient and the therapist a lot of one-on-one time that they can focus on working on the skills that are going to help the patient get better.
For those who have been through it, physical rehab is a transformational experience. And yet, rehab is often treated as an afterthought in the wake of a stroke or serious injury. But there is a difference that changes lives.
Start with your right foot. There you go, a little bit more so it's straight. There you go. We found a lot of potential muscle groups that we're working that we felt he could gain a lot of strength in. And his motivation was absolutely incredible. His family support was unbelievable.
I would come in, we do it steadily, working on different things, getting me up on the parallel bars. And believe me, rehab's not a piece of cake. It's tough times, but you can get through it.
I'm going to work. A lot of them refer going to Sheltering Arms as their routine of work. And that's good. They're not going to the hospital, they're not going to rehab, they're going to a place that's beneficial to them.
We're always redefining goals when need be. In other words, on the initial evaluation, a therapist may feel that the patient is only going to be able to walk 50 feet. After a few days or a week or whatever, the patient may have met that goal, so the goal is updated.
No matter how bad a patient's feeling or how bad they think they're doing, they're going to see someone else who's in just as bad a shape, if not worse. And I think that helps a lot, more so than anything we say to them. And we're definitely providing encouragement constantly. the therapists do. The techs are wonderful. They're always, when we get a little hard on them, they play the nice guys.
What's the saying? No pain, no gain. Well, I've had a lot of pain and a lot of gain here in the past year.
Every patient comes to Sheltering Arms with a different story. And yet, to a person, they all share a common driving desire to re-engage with life.
Mary has done more things since she had her stroke than she did before. They took her parasailing. She's been on a cruise. She's been canoeing, horseback riding, snow skiing. Just so many things to bring them back into life.
It just takes time. But like my trainer keeps saying, Roy, he says, I like you got that look again. But he says, remember, it takes time. He always reminds me, now go in there, I want to do this. And he says, remember, it takes time, Roy.
So I've traveled back down the road 3 times a week from my house to Sheltering Arms just to be with those people because I knew they knew what was needed.
He wanted to show me, wanted to show everybody, and he also was a good cheerleader for the rest of the patients, and they became more motivated watching him.
We benchmark against facilities throughout the nation and against the region. And on every measure, we meet or exceed the regional and national benchmarks for what we do.
Sheltering Arms clinical results speak for themselves. The average inpatient length of stay is significantly shorter than regional and national averages. Our functional independence measure, or FIM scores, also exceed national benchmarks. But most important is the fact that 8 out of 10 Sheltering Arms patients return directly to their homes to get on with their lives.
It might have came back, but there's a lot of mites in this world.
Michelle came in the same way, just like Dr. Hawkins. There was nothing but hope in her voice. She wouldn't be my motivator. There's days I didn't want to get out of bed. They would come in and get you up out of bed. Come on, let's go, let's go. It's all about getting you better.
All right, Caroline.
Clearly, the staff is the most important piece to this puzzle. All the successes and all the outcomes are truly because we have a staff that they're all committed to excellence.
From the cleaning staff to the nursing staff to the dietary to the therapists to the managers, everyone is real proud of what they're doing here. And I haven't seen better care in a rehab facility.
At Sheltering Arms, patients not only regain their physical abilities, they also discover new strength, new confidence, and a renewed appreciation for life.
I feel like I've had a stroke also, and they take care of me just as well as they take care of Mary. And you can't get any better than that. You can't buy that kind of service. That has to be given from the heart. We're not shuffled in and out. We're just embraced every day.
Tony was one of those patients who just did way more than we asked of him even. He's been a joy to work with. That's what makes it fun to come to work every day.
Just don't give up. Just continue to work. Go.
When I came to Sheltering Arms, I found something I couldn't find anywhere else. It was the power to overcome.
They've just got to be blessed angels. They just have to be.
I can describe Sheltering Arms with one letter of the alphabet, C, class. That says it all right there. Period. Class. One letter.
Not that many left. We're going to get through all this and then you can take a rest, okay?